so good to see you all today. Sorry, I was a wee bit late. That's, life is a spoonie. Best laid plans. How is everyone? Once you're here, please say hello in the comments. I would love to see who is here. Where are you from? What are you working on? If you are one of the Disney community, have you gotten anything fun lately? So my stuffed animals are not wanting to behave tonight, so they're all droopy. They won't stay up. Hello, Donna. Hi, Shannon. Hope you're feeling better. Everyone here is going through some kind of sickness this month, praying we all feel better soon. Oh, no. I'm so sorry, Donna. That is awful. Hello, Stacy. How are you? Michelle. I am here. Ha, ha, ha. I get it. Nice. Hi, Rudy. Okay, Rudy, you just need to know that I've got to do my stuff for my companies first, okay? So we're not going to start the actual Lady and the Tramp stuff for just a few minutes, okay? I know you like to know times and stuff, so I hope that makes you feel better. So today is not only the anniversary of one of the best Disney films ever, which almost didn't happen 3 times. Did you know that? Yeah. We'll talk about that. But it's also National Pink Day. So hooray to all my pink lovers. Yes, it's National Pink Day. I wish National Pink Day was in a few days because I have a very pink video in like just a few days, but no. Had to be today. So, but I work for the company OPhire. They have quite a few pink options for you, including a pink stand, pink hooks, and of course their azalea hook, which is still available, but it is limited edition and only a few sizes are left. So the link is in my description box, but I will also put it in the chat in just a moment. Everyone ignore Nightbot. Okay, if you want to use emojis to your heart's content. I can't turn that thing off right now. I don't know. Nightbot is here for its purposes, but it also is very annoying. So, yes, I know Stacy is a pink lover. Yay. Oh, yes, do you love my lady hair? Yes. No, Michelle, I totally got it. Horton Here's a Who. I get it. I love it. Okay. The other thing is today I put out my video on the summer box for Twice Sheared Sheep, and their summer collection is coming to their shop on Monday. So not exactly what you saw in my video, but the feeling of what you saw in my video, same kind of theme, will be in their shop. Is that everything? No. Wednesday, Premier Yarns is having their big summer sale, like huge. So, that was not a Pretty Woman reference, but it happened. So there we go. Yes, so they're having their huge sale. They have it once a year. It's enormous. It's fun. So many yarns will be on sale. And I am now finally a Premier affiliate. So, please use my link if you shop. It's been over a year since they've been able to fix my link. So it's fixed and I'm now an affiliate. Yay. So if you use my link, it should work now. Thank you to those of you who let me know that my link was not working. Thank you so much because I didn't know. Okay. So Lady and the Tramp. This is one of my favorite films, but it's also my favorite Disney character ever since I was 3. Lady. And hey, Heather. Yeah, I know, right? It's just such a beautifully drawn film, first of all. It's such a very simple story, but it's very powerful. I think it's beautiful. I think that Lady and the Tramp is one of the most beautiful stories. I I was watching some behind the scenes stuff today, and I heard a couple of more modern artists decide to take a turn with the story when they were talking about it. And y'all, it's Disney, okay? Not only that, it's Disney in the 50s when censorship was very much a thing. Nothing happened, okay? Wow. Anyway, just I love when people decide to take something innocent and turn it into something dirty. Just great. Anyway, so yes, I love this film. It's beautiful. It's wholesome, and it's a very, very sweet story. I also thought I would mention one of the really cool things about this film is that Peggy Lee was brought in as the lyricist. She wasn't brought in as a voice actress at first. She was brought in as the lyricist. And then, of course, they liked her voice. And when they started to make songs for like Darling and Cyan Am, they said, well, hey, Peggy could do it. So they let her be the voice for that. Then, of course, you all know Peg, the dog in the pound, was designed specifically for her. They came up with the song. Her and I think his name was Sonny Burke were the music and lyrics for all these songs. And they were like, well, Peg, you could sing it. You should sing it. And once they heard her sing it, it was nailed. It was like, yeah, no one but Peggy. No one but Peggy Lee can sing this. It's fabulous. That's okay, Michelle. It's cool. You're here. Yay. So they were drawing it, and the animator actually, who drew the entire scene with Peg singing the song, said it was one of the happiest moments of his life. So, yeah. So Peggy Lee was actually brought in as a lyricist, not to do voices at first. And then, of course, as they were coming up with the songs, they were like, well, you could do it. And then they decided to design Peg just for her. And that's why it's named Peg. Hey, Nova. Happy you're here. So, yeah, just a fun thing. Okay, this is really fun. Who has ever been confused about the puppies? The puppies at the end of the film. Who's ever been confused, like, why do some look like Lady? Why do some look like Tramp? Of course, people have decided to make lovely theories online about this. No. Do you know how puppies work? So actually, my aunt is a breeder. And so what happens is sometimes puppies can get a dominant gene from one of the parents. And they will look a lot more like one of the parents. So that's why you have 3 that look like Lady and 1 that looks like Tramp. Scamp, we now know his name is Scamp. Scamp is probably the runt of the litter. He does look the smallest, and he's different from all the rest. He is probably the runt. The runt will always look different and usually does take the less dominant gene for his look. And that's how you get Scamp. And that's why the puppies look like Mama and Daddy, but different, but the same parents. Fun, right? So now if anybody goes to you and says, oh, Lady had an affair, or, oh, well, those aren't really Tramp's puppies. Now you know. Yes. The other fun trivia, and I have seen so many people talk about Lady and the Tramp, and I haven't seen one person get this right. Joe, the chef. Tony is the owner of the restaurant. Joe is the chef. He literally says his name like 3 times, and no one ever remembers poor Joe. Justice for Joe. So, yeah, his name is Joe. Joe is the chef. Joe makes the spaghetti and meatballs. Tony is the owner. We know it's Tony because Tramp says it's Tony. And then Tony says Joe's name. So that's how we know Joe's name. Because, Nova, there are people out there who like to take innocent children's cartoons and turn them into something dirty. Because they can. I didn't know that about the runts taking the less dominant genes. Yes. I always assumed the girl puppies looked like mom and the boys puppies looked like dad. Yep, you can go with that too. Not really how it works, but yeah. I do think he is the runt of the litter too, because in the second movie, he's smaller than the girls, and also the girls seem to act a little bit older. I know that would only be like a few minutes older, but still, they act older than Scamp, and I always wondered if he was just the runt, and it would make a lot of sense. Or you could love dogs. You could love people, or you could love dogs. No, yeah. The other cool thing is this story almost didn't happen. So what happened, the story on how Lady and the Tramp came to be, how they got the idea and everything, no one can agree on. But what they can agree is that Joe Grant had an English Springer Spaniel. So Lady is a Cocker Spaniel, but he had an English Springer Spaniel whom he and his wife adored. Walt saw a drawing that he drew, a cartoon version of his dog, thought it looked so cute, Walt wanted to do a dog story. Yes, Sherry. Sometimes. So he wanted to do a dog story, and he loved how the drawing looked, and he was like, ooh, let's do a spaniel. And they looked at a lot of dogs, and they just decided on the Cocker Spaniel. We don't know how they got from English Springer Spaniel to Cocker Spaniel, but okay. Because the dogs look nothing alike. If you've seen a Cocker Spaniel and a Springer Spaniel, nothing alike. They both have a little coat at the bottom that kind of looks like they're wearing a skirt, but that's about it. I have one cold that looks like to me, and the other looks like a dad. Same, yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So he ran with the story, and they liked the idea of his daughter. So Joe's daughter was born, and the dog kind of got pushed to the side. And they thought that was kind of a cute story of, well, you know, a dog has a huge part of a couple's heart until a baby takes over, and then the baby needs all the attention and stuff, and the dog gets pushed to the side. And how do they feel about that? Well, yeah, that's interesting. But they at first made Lady kind of mean. Like, she was kind of the villain. And thankfully, a lot of people at Disney didn't like that idea. And then they brought in the mother-in-law with the two cats, and then the cats were the antagonists. Okay. And then they had another storyline where Lady has two suitors, one of which is a, what's the name of that? A Russian wolfhound, which is funny because one of the dogs in the pound was a Russian wolfhound. And yeah, and then they had another suitor for her that was a mongrel. And his name was Homer. Okay. And then the war happened, and the movie got pushed to the side, and Joe left the studio, and a whole lot of other things happened at Disney that were not good. And then for some reason, they brought it back, and they said that Lady is too clean. And so now that we made the dog nice, now she's too nice, and there's nothing to rough her up or anything, or to antagonize her besides the cats. So they brought in the suitor idea again, and they came up with Tramp. But of course, they were nervous about the name Tramp at first. See, this is how I know that the stories aren't true, because they were nervous about the name Tramp. Yeah, that's how I know those other stories aren't true, because they were nervous about even naming the dog Tramp in the 50s. So, yeah. And then with his name, that's when they came up with the song. It was like, oh, well, what if he was a playboy? And what if Lady found this out? And how would she find it out? Why not have it be a song? So, yeah. But it was a nice foil to Lady's little perfect world you know, where nothing bad ever happens and it's perfectly idyllic, and, you know, she's treated so well and she doesn't really know what stray dogs are like, except what Jock and Trusty have told her. By the way, his name is Jock, not Jacques. Jacques would be French. Jock he's Scottish. I told you it would take some time, Rudy. So we are, you know, approaching the idea of, okay, you know, you could say it's poor versus rich. Some people have said there's a race connotation, maybe. But I think it's more of he comes from one world, she comes from the other, but they worked together just fine. And they each help each other in positive ways. He helps her see the world as not so perfect. She helps him see that humans aren't so bad. So I love this story. I think it's sweet. Did you know the spaghetti scene almost didn't happen? Walt Disney himself didn't like it. Even though they animated it and they thought they made it all cute, he said it's silly. I'm so glad that everybody on the animation team pushed for this. Like, no, we can't get rid of this scene. I can't imagine Lady and the Tramp without that scene. So it's crazy that they didn't want that scene. I don't know. I thought that was insane. Why? Yeah, okay, it's silly watching dogs eat spaghetti, I guess, but they're dogs. And, you know, Tony and Joe, you know, with their little romantic ballad and helping them fall in love. It's cute. Anyway. So, yeah, can you imagine? I mean, think of how many things have done a parody on that scene alone. So many cartoons and live action and television shows and movies, everybody has used that scene somehow for something. That's a lot of people's favorite scene. I know. Why would you cut that? Anyway. So, thankfully, the animators were like, okay, well, we know that you know things, but you don't know everything. Exactly. It's iconic. So, yeah, I can't imagine without that scene. But yeah, it almost didn't happen. A few scenes with Lady and the baby almost didn't happen too. And you really do need those scenes so that Darling, you can see how Darling treats her with the baby around. And, you know, especially because you had that scene where she pushed her away when she was playing with the yarn, and Darling wasn't having it when she was pregnant. But then when she has the baby and the baby's in the crib and stuff, and they hold up Lady so that she can see the baby, and like, obviously they're fine with the baby and Lady being there. And that was important because then Aunt Sarah comes in and she doesn't want Lady anywhere near her. So you need those different dynamics so you can see one story or the other. It's like, oh, okay, see, the aunt is completely different. So I'm glad they kept those scenes in there because I don't think it would have been the same story. I love the scene where Lady gets mad at Darling and Jim Deere because that she thinks they're abandoning their baby. You can already see that she's ready to be a mom because her protective instincts are super strong. Like, she loves this little thing, even though she doesn't know what it is, but she loves it. And all of a sudden, the people she loves are going to abandon it. Well, now she's taking a stand and she's not having it. And she starts growling at them and getting in front of their feet and stuff. And it's so cute. I love how protective she is with the baby. It's so cute. Yeah. So what are some of your guys' favorite scenes? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to take a sip of tea. Crazily enough, you're going to see my collection tonight, but oddly enough, I looked. I don't have a mug. I don't have a tumbler. I don't have a plastic glass. I have no drinking receptacle, teapot, pitcher, nothing. No drinking receptacle of any kind that's Lady and the Tramp. Me. Blows my mind, but apparently I don't. But we have Jane Austen, and she's good too. My schnauzer was like Lady with my granddaughter. It was instant love. Oh, that's beautiful. You love the pound scene? That song is really good. We Are Siamese is my favorite song. Yeah, that's a good one. I like, of course, who doesn't like He's a Tramp? Of course, Bella Notte. I like the lullaby, Lallaloo. I love that song. I think it's pretty. And I've actually sung it babysitting. So I can attest that, yes, it will put kids to sleep. Okay, so where should we start? Well, let's start with the movie itself. Let's start there. So I have Lady and the Tramp and Lady and the Tramp 2 on DVD. And this is the Platinum Edition. I don't know. I thought they'd come out with one for the 70th. I thought they'd come out with something, but I haven't seen it yet. But I love these, and I want them to keep making these because these have all the behind the scenes and like it's called Backstage Disney, deleted scenes, never before seen. Learning about the real life dog breeds that went with each dog in the movie and seeing how they used those dogs' personalities when they were deciding which dog fit what character. I love that. The accents. Yeah, they talked about how this movie has probably the most accents of any Disney movie up to, I think, the early 2000s. But like the most diverse cast of accents, because you've got Russian, you've got Spanish, you've got, Oriental, and then Peg, Lady, Tramp, Trusty, and the other dog in the pound that does the little dish with his tail. They're all American, but they're from all different places in America, you can tell, because they all have different accents. It's pretty cool. So I have those. And then I have books. I have my little golden books. I love this one particularly because it still has the, like the faded pictures, which is really cool. So, and then I love this book. I think I probably pull this book out in every Disney video I do because it's a who's who of Disney. I need the updated one. They've made an updated one, and I probably need the updated one. But this one goes all the way to, I'm trying to see if I can tell from the cover. Well, we've got the Good Dinosaur there. It's relatively Zootopia. It goes all the way to, I see when the copyright was, 2017. So this thing is really cool because it is literally bios for each Disney character. Even the ones you didn't know had names, they're in here. So this one doesn't have Incredibles 2, but the next one would, and I'm pretty sure that one does include Honey. So you finally find out that it wasn't just a name that Frozone was calling her, like, hey, honey, hey, sweetie. No, apparently her name really is Honey. Golden books are the best. They're so cool. I love those. And then, of course, if you have books, you need a bookmark. So this is another one from my friend Sonnet. She's the one who made me my Lady and the Tramp shirt as well. And this one I just got from Hot Topic. It's so cute. It's a spaghetti scene, obviously. So I got this one, and then you saw my Lady and Tramp shirt that Sonnet made me in my video where I showed my lounge fly, which, yes, I have it with me. I will show it again. And my only other Lady and the Tramp shirt is my lady shirt. And I've worn that for when I talked about Lady and the Tramp during Decade Divas last year. So, yeah. Oh, that's cute. I'm guessing that's a nickname he doesn't give you, if that was her name. Okay, so let's see, where do we go to next? Well, we're still kind of in book land, so I showed these, I dedicated a whole video to these, but Happy Planner came out with an entire Lady and the Tramp collection, including stickers. And I have a whole video like where you can see all inside these and stuff, but I did get the little planner. The big planner. And the notebook. Also, did you know Trusty was supposed to in a kids movie? I mean, I know that Disney has been known to unalive a lot of characters and stuff, but there are actually people who still work at Disney and wishing he had gone away because they think it would have been more poignant to the movie. No, the fact that he risked his life at all was a big deal. I want him around. I love Trusty. So, shame on you people. Yeah, I thought he was gone when I was little too. I was like, oh my gosh. And then he came in during Christmas and I was like, phew. Okay, so I have a video all about that. You can see inside and I go through every single what it looks like on the inside, and so that's fun. What next? Should we do bags? Let's do bags. Okay. This one is really beaten up because it's old. I have had this bag. Wow, how old was I? I think we were living at least since I was 12. I don't want to think about how old that is. A few decades. But anyway, isn't it cute? So this is the park scene. I love how her little ear's on him like a blanket. It's so cute. There's nothing on the back. It's just this. There's nothing on the inside either. It's just a bag, and this is the only picture. The only thing that's remotely interesting about this entire bag. But I've had it forever, so. Whew. And then I have this one, which is not just Lady and the Tramp, but that's okay. But it also has their puppies, or at least Scamp. Yeah. So this is the Disney dogs. Oh my gosh, have you seen these bags on Amazon? I want them all. There's an Alice in Wonderland one, a Winnie the Pooh one, a Disney Villains one. Just so many good ones of like this style. I don't know what it's called, but you'll see. They have so many of these on Amazon. Like I need anything else to collect, but you know. So it's got a bunch of Disney dogs, but it does have Lady right there, and then Tramp and Lady with the puppies, and then Scamp is somewhere randomly on here. There's Jock as well. There's Scamp right there. Isn't it cute? And it's huge. I mean, it's decent sized. I love it. Let's see, who else was on here? Oh yeah, Peg. Right there, Peg. She's above Tramp's head. And then, this is not Lady and the Tramp, but another Disney dog movie that I absolutely adore is Oliver and Company, another movie that doesn't get enough love. And one character that constantly gets left out of merch, out of like shirts, glassware, everything, unless it's like the cover of the movie kind of picture, like this is kind of the cover of the movie. Constantly she gets left out, and she's on this bag. Rita is right there. You never see her, but there she is. So yeah, but I like this bag. It's really nice. It's weatherproof. It's huge on the inside. Like, look at that. It's like a black hole. So yeah. It's got Oliver and Company, 101 Dalmatians, Fox and the Hound, Lady and the Tramp. I think that's it. Oh yeah, it also has the little pug from 101 Dalmatians. Huh. Oh, and one of the dogs in the pound in Lady and the Tramp is the little Mexican Chihuahua. Who do you think was an inspiration for Tito? I mean, seriously, you can't convince me that that dog was not an inspiration for this dog, because they look almost exactly similar and they had the same kind of like attitude. So yeah. Okay, next with bags. Here is my lounge fly. And I did a video all about this, so like, you know, you can see close-ups and everything, but this is another one that's not just Lady and the Tramp, but I went into my video onto why I picked this one. So this one also has Lady, Tramp, Georgette, Perdita, Copper, Percy, and Dodger. And it's just a cute little crossbody. It can also be, you can hold it by the strap if you want to, but more than likely I'm only going to use it as a crossbody. So. And then Pink a la Mode was going, they were changing their website, and they were changing that they're going to get a brick and mortar store somewhere in California. So Disney people, look out for that. I know, right? It goes perfectly with my sweatshirt. Yeah. So they just had this tiny little thing for like $5. And as they were getting rid of stuff, you guys know that I bought the blind bags. If you've seen those videos, there's still one more coming next week. Anyway, they had this little card wallet, and it was Tony's Restaurant. I thought that was so cute. But even cuter, it's Jock and Scamp. I love this scene. Isn't that adorable? So, yeah. I guess you can put coins in here. I don't know how you'd get them out, but I guess you could. Or like a key, maybe like your house key. I don't know. But I just thought it was cute. And it is Disney. See? Yeah. The brand is Storybook. I don't know. And then speaking of blind bags and keychains and stuff, I have Lady. I do not have Tramp. I could have had Tramp, but I said, no, I don't really need that one. And now it's gone for good. Anyway, I got Lady at least. So I will put her on something, or I will turn her into an ornament. I don't know. Okay, let's see. What next? We're not done. We're not done. When I lived in Japan, they had these really cool, I don't know what you call them. You go to a mall. I don't know if they still exist. You go to a mall, and then they had like almost a vending machine, but of stuff. So it wasn't just candy. It wasn't just little things that came in a little capsule. It was like office supplies. There were some with little stuffed toys. There were some with like erasers, because erasers are very big over there. There were some with, obviously there are some with candy, but they didn't just have like the normal kind of vending machines. So one of the ones they had was pens and pencils and stuff like that. And y'all know I love yarn. Yarn is one of my favorite things in the world. However, the very first thing to ever really take my heart, probably as a kid, it was stuffed animals, let's be honest. But as an adult, well, actually, no, as a teenager, it started young. As a teenager, I was obsessed with office supplies, especially pens and pencils, and I still am. And I have quite the collection. And between my mother and I, if Staples, Office Max, Office Depot, all the other office supply stores ever went out of business, you could probably shop our house. Between the two of us, but still, it'd be a decent shop. So anyway, one of the things I got out of one of those little vending machine things was this. It's a lady pencil. It's got bows and roses and then little pictures of lady all over it. And then, of course, the little topper is so cute. So, yeah. I'm going to see if it says anything on it that's not in Japanese. Disney. It says Disney. It does say Lady and the Tramp, but the sticker is over that section, and I don't know why, but it does say it right there in pink. Now, this I got really, really lucky. So Pink a la Mode put this on their site, took it off, and put it back. So when I went to look for it, I think Sarah at Sarah's Disney Magic, I think she's the one who showed this. And I was like, girl, where did you get those? And she said Pink a la Mode. And I went to look and they were gone. And I went, never mind. So then or was it Box Lunch? I don't know. It was Box Lunch or Pink a la Mode. It was one of those two. And whichever one, put it back. And so then I was able to grab it. But it is the 2-pack pen set of Lady and Tramp. Here, I can take this out so there's no glare. There you go. Isn't that cute? What's the name of the style of the Loungefly bag? I think it's just a crossbody, but I don't know. Oh, it says a barrel crossbody. barrel crossbody. Because thankfully I didn't take the tags off yet. So yeah, this is a barrel style apparently. So anyway, yes, those are the Lady and the Tramp pens. Aren't they adorable? And there we go. Okay, what's next? Oh, well, obviously, as a crocheter, there's no way I couldn't crochet something for this. So I had to crochet at least something for this live for fun to commemorate the 70th anniversary and just for fun. So I made one of my glasses cases, but of course I personalized it for me. And ta-da! It's the pasta and the little lone meatball that Tramp moves over with his nose over to Lady so she can have it. And then the pasta, my very wonky hearts here, but they're supposed to be hearts. So I wanted to do surface crochet on this so badly, and my hands were not cooperating. This goes along with nerve problems. So my hands were not cooperating, so that was not happening. And so I just had to chain and then stitch it on, which looks way more sloppy, and I don't like it, but it's fine. Isn't it cute? So if you don't know, there is a tutorial for how to make the basic one of these. And what you do is there's no toggles, no snaps, no nothing needed. You just put your glasses in and throw the strap over. You can also throw it in through the bottom if you want to. There you go. And so if your luggage is shaking or your purse is shaking around, oh no, your glasses are going to fall out. Oh no. Nope. So if you want to make one too, there's a tutorial on my channel. Will I please show what again, Michelle? This? Or show how to do the strap again, like this, over the top. Ta-da! Yes, make one for your granddaughter. These are super handy. These are great gifts. How do I know? Because I made one for like 5 people recently. And they all love them. And then one person I forgot to make one for. I'm sorry, Stacy. I owe you one. I'm sorry. I never see you wear glasses. Oh, that's so nice to know. Thank you. I'm so glad she likes it. Yeah, I love these. And I started personalizing them. So like not just making the base, which honestly, the base in itself, I love. Pick a variegated yarn and go to town. Let the yarn do the work. But I started personalizing these for my Disney friends. I made a Daisy one for Pam. I made an Up one for Sandra. I made a Princess and the Frog one for Shay. And I forgot 2 people. Sorry, ladies. I put the stuff in their box, and then I sealed the box. And then I remembered I was going to make glasses case for 2 of my friends who wear glasses in every video. Oops. But it was really fun to personalize them. So, yeah. I also may need to make another tutorial because I think I've fixed a couple things I didn't love about the first one. I mean, it still works and I still love my tutorial, but like you can always improve your designs, you know? So I think I fixed the bottom issue and there's fewer steps now. So I might come out with another tutorial this year, y'all. Maybe I'll even show you guys how to personalize it. You would just make them smaller. So I do, hold on, off the top of my head, I believe I chain 11, I think. So you might want to chain 6 and then do the same directions just with a different stitch count. And that will still, it'll still work. You only have to know stitch count like twice. So you're good. And so whatever I do for 10 stitches, you do for 5 stitches. And I think it would work. And Michelle, if you want to like experiment that for me and let me know if that works, I would be so appreciative because I could write out a children's one. That would be great. Yeah. Okay, so everybody saw the glasses case? All right, cool. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not just a glasses case. Oh my gosh. It's not just a glasses case. I designed this. I should know. You can put your glasses in here, or those of you who don't wear glasses, but you crochet. This holds 4 to 5 hooks. And it's the same concept. See? So you can also use it as a hook case. Yes, please do that. I would love to see it. Okay, what's next? Oh, I know. Pins. So I am a very, very baby pin collector. I have not been collecting pins very long at all. I blame all my Disney friends. Thanks, y'all. I blame all of you. Lovingly. Lovingly, I blame all of you. And so my very first pin that I ever collected, not the ones that I got, like I got a bunch in my Crochet Society boxes, and I love those. But the ones that I intentionally collected, my very first one was Lady. And it was the most perfect pin ever because it was not only Lady, it was Lady as a puppy, and I love Lady as a puppy. Lady as a puppy with a ball of yarn. Are you kidding me? I can't think of a more perfect me pin. Also, her ball of yarn is sparkly pink. And y'all know I love the sparkle yarn. So isn't she cute? She was off the Pink Ella Mode website for a while, but I just checked before this live and she's back. So if you want her, she's back. Isn't this cute? I love this. Okay. And then they had another one. And I was like, well, why not get Lady and Tramp? So I got that one. So those are my only Lady and the Tramp pins. Of course, they came out with one today of both Lady and Tramp being babies, and it's so cute. But I don't have that one. It came out today, so. My dogs all liked yarn as puppies, but it grew them. That's adorable. Yeah, they're the perfect little pins for me. So I do have a couple more Disney pins. I don't have too many, but I did buy one recently. So I will do a Pin Me Up Wednesday some point in July, probably. I don't have that many. A lot of the things I buy, honestly, are for the channel. So if it doesn't really benefit my channel, don't really get too many like fun things. So I get a lot of yarn because it's for my business, and I get office supplies because I say it's for my business. Oh yeah, but while you're here, here, I also have Alice in Wonderland and Dinah as teapot and teacup. Isn't that cute? So, yeah. And actually, that is kind of appropriate because one of the people who was the main, like, push person for making Lady and the Tramp happen was very involved with Alice in Wonderland. So that kind of works. And then this was given to me by the lovely Pam at Coco for Disney. She gave me one of these cute little pinfolio boards so I can show pins now. She also gave me a big pink one, but I only had 2 pins to show you, so I felt the big pink one was kind of unnecessary. Okay, now do we talk about stuffies? No, let's do the Funkos first. We'll do stuffies last because there's a lot. I like plush things. I make plush things. I collect plush things. I like plush. So my first Funkos are Regular Lady. And she's just got her little collar, and I don't have a turntable. Forgive me. Her little tail. Oh, and I did hear, whew, sorry, I had fuzzy at my nose. I did hear her official coloring is called Honey. She's honey colored. So I thought that was fun. Her ears are awfully dark, I think. I think her ears are awfully dark, but, you know, she's still really cute. And then, of course, I have Tramp. He's a cutie pie. And his little tail. Look at that. Oops. Okay. And then these are new. I have not unboxed these, so we're doing it live. Yay! This is for the 70th anniversary. So they made these Funko Pops specifically for the 70th anniversary of the movie. So this is Tramp and Scamp, although it says Tramp with Puppy, but we know his name. And there you go. He's got his paw on his tail. So he's like, stop. And let's see. I've never taken them out yet. Oh, good. It has a little base. Okay. How am I supposed to position the puppy? Okay, well, this shape goes with this one, clearly. And then this one is this shape. No? Yes. I'm doing it right. The shapes match. Maybe you have to put the little one on first. Aww. Look at him. He's so cute. Okay, then Dad goes on here. There we go. Now he's stopping his tail. Like, don't go anywhere. Oh, they're so cute. That's okay, Lori. We're glad you're here. So yeah, that's the 70th anniversary Scamp and Tramp. And then there's Lady with one of her girls. We know she had 3. Oh, hers is different. Okay. And she does not have a stand. Wait, maybe she does. She does. It's clear. I didn't see it. Hi, Deira. Ha, got it. So this is Lady with Puppy, also for the 70th anniversary. So I'm not sure which girl because she's not wearing a collar, so I don't know what her name is because they all have names according to their collar colors. There we go. Ta-da! Isn't that cute? Typical mom, making sure puppies don't get in trouble. So I thought these were so cute. And I pre-ordered these. Like, as soon as they were available, I was like, mine. 1, I didn't want them to get more expensive. And 2, I didn't want them to sell out. So there we go. Ah! Hi, Pam. Hi, Deira. Yay, Pam, Deira, and Stacy. How fun. I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay. I think we've reached that time. Are you ready for Plushmageddon? Okay, we'll start small. Hallmark has something called Itty Bitties. And they did actually make the set with the spaghetti scene before, but it was a limited edition and I missed out on that fast. So, but they did make these a long time ago and they were like little keychains. But I keep them on here with 2 others you'll see in a minute. I keep them on here because sometimes I put ornament hooks on them and put them on my tree, but I always put them back because I don't want them to go in the ornament box. I want them out all year. So I have Lady and Tramp in the very itty bitty size. These are from Hallmark. Aren't they cute? And yes, you could easily turn these into bag charms, I'm aware. And they do have tails. They do have tails, which I love that they are not just like drawn on there. They're actual little tails. Now on the other side, just for fun, I keep Beauty and Beast. So there's Belle and Beast. And Beast has his little ponytail. So, yeah. Oh my goodness. Hi, Crochet Queen. How are you? So good to see you. So glad you're here for this fun thing. Okay. So Squishmallows also had Lady and the Tramp. I missed the one during Valentine's Day. I really wanted that one because it was Lady and Tramp and they had the noodle connecting. That was so cute. But I missed out on that one. It was on like Walgreens or something. And they had blind capsules. They had little Squishmallow blind capsules, which I did open on the channel. And y'all know my hunt for Lady and Tramp was long. I kept getting Stitch. So I finally got Lady and Tramp, though. In fact, I got Tramp twice. So these are so cute, the little ones. I like the little ones. But I do wish I had the bigger ones, too. So I got Tramp squared. And here's Miss Lady. No tail this time, though. Shame. So, yeah, these are the little Squishmallow minis, or I don't know what they're called. But aren't they cute? Working on a C2C blanket. Ooh, awesome. What colors? Tell me. Okay. Ugh. Everything's so far away. Okay. So the Disney store used to have Tsum Tsums come out not every Tuesday, but like certain Tuesdays a month. Like 2 or 3 sets came out a month. And you go to the Disney store and you could buy the whole, if you went on the day, you could buy the whole collection. And I only did this for a few movies because I wasn't interested in having the whole collection, except when they put out Lady and the Tramp. My ex and I were so fast at that Disney store. Like the moment he got off work, I was like, are we going? And he goes, of course. So yeah, I got Lady and Tramp. They're so cute. I want to crochet the puppies so that they have the puppies. Because if some of you don't know, I crochet my own Tsum Tsums when they don't make them. I want to crochet the puppies. And then they also have Trusty and Jock. They're so cute, right? And of course, you can't have this collection without Peg. I do wish her hair was like over one eye a little bit more, but that's okay. So cute. So yes, this is the whole collection to me. I did not get the cats. They also came out with the 2 cats, Sai and Am. I didn't get those. I'm not a cat collector. I'm a dog collector. Okay, these are new. So Disney's going to discontinue the Nuimos, which are those posable dolls that people like to bring to the park. And in their place, they're now doing something called a mini mix-it. Someone please explain to me why they're wearing these hats. But other than that, they're kind of cute. But I don't get the hats. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't understand the hats. Not understanding. Anyway, so I wasn't going to get a mini mix-it. I didn't see any that were you know, up my alley or anything. I thought about the flower one because I do like flower from Bambi. Maybe like if he went on sale or something, but then the 70th anniversary stuff dropped at Disney and I was like, okay, well. Lady and Tramp. Now see, they wear these hats. His is the meatball, hers is the pasta. I don't understand the hats. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I don't understand the hats. But anyway, we can take off the hats, which is the only reason I got them because I found out I could take the hats off. Yay. And oh, now see, that's cute. Now that's cute. There. Yeah, see, I don't understand the hat. It's kind of funny, but I don't understand the hat. Anyway, and then here's Tramp. Oh, love his little ears. So there's Lady and Tramp without the hats. Okay, so what you do, everything's all connected here. What you do is they've got a little strap on the back so that you can loop it and attach it to your bags. And then they just kind of hang out with you at the park, I guess. So anyway, that's how a mini mix-it works, if you didn't know. I don't know if this Velcro is strong enough, but I mean, maybe. So yeah, these are, all the other ones in the store are going to be there, I guess, forever. I don't know. But these were limited edition, so I don't know how many they made of these. But these were specifically for the 70th anniversary. And so they're really cute. So yeah, would I ever wear them on a bag? Yeah, probably. Especially Lady. So anyway, those are the new mini mix-its. That's what Disney is going to put out instead of the Nuimos, if you didn't know. You don't understand the hats either. Yeah. Lion Brand cookies and cream. Ooh. That sounds pretty. Okay. Next I have this thing. So I bought this at, what's that store called? I think it was Five Below. And she was just in a bin. And I had wanted a lady stuffed animal basically since I was 3. And it's not like my parents wouldn't get one for me. It's just I was super picky. And the ones I wanted, it was like, no, not this one. Not this one. And so my parents were like, okay. So I never got one as a kid. Either I didn't want the one that my parents would show me, or it would, they'd forget when it was like Christmas or my birthday or whatever. So now that I'm an adult, I saw this in a bin, one of those big wire bins, and I thought she was super cute. Now, she was only $5, and I knew there were flaws, and I didn't know how many flaws. She has been repaired 2 or 3 times by me. I have had to sew her up several times. Back here, under her ear. She's been through a lot, and all she ever did was sit on a shelf or in a bin. So I don't really know what happened to her, but she was obviously very cheaply made. But she is Disney. I mean, she is a licensed product. She's just not made very well, and she's really small. She honestly could pass for one of the puppies, to be honest. So yeah. So when I saw this was available, and this was actually not the one I ordered, but apparently that's what everybody was having trouble with on Amazon. This is not the one I ordered, but I still love her. When they had her available, I got her. So she's much better made. She's a much better height. Love her little tail. And I love the fuzzy chest. And she just looks better, you know. Now the one I was trying to get was the one with the big fluffy ears and the big fluffy chest, and there's little like fur on the toes. But apparently that didn't happen. And Amazon was like, well, I don't even know if we have that one, because apparently no one has ever gotten that one. So they just have the wrong picture up there. This is the one you will get. So anyway, and they were like, well, you could return her. And I went, no, no, I'll just keep her. Thanks. So yeah. So I got Lady. But first, I got Tramp on a really good deal. He was only $11. Yeah. He goes for much more than that. So he was on a lightning deal for $11, and I snatched him up. I was like, I just happened to be looking for another stuffed animal, actually. But he popped up in my feed because Amazon now knows that I love Disney dogs, Disney dogs specifically. And so they were like, hey, you might be interested in this. And I was. So he is really well made. His eyes are embroidered. I love that. His tag is so beautiful. And yeah, he's really soft, very well made. I can see why he usually goes for like over 30. He's also really tall, but he's the perfect height for Lady. So yeah, her eyes are embroidered too. Yeah. And then they had these. These are for babies. Aren't they cute? These are for babies. So they're little floppy things. Look at this. This is the company GUND, but partnered with Disney, but they're for babies. So there's no loose pieces. There's nothing that a baby could like yank off. The eyes are safe. So yeah, these are made for, you know, kids in mind. But aren't they cute? And their little tails. They also make Bambi and Thumper in this style. Yeah, they're so cute. Funko Pop Lady and Tramp with puppy. Yes. Did you miss her? There she is. Wow, that's a great deal. Yeah, it is. It was a really great deal. She was a great deal too. Not as good, but she was still a good deal. And then I was on eBay, and I was looking for, what was I looking for? Oh, my Kanga plush, which you'll see in November, I think. Anyway, I got her. Yay. But I was looking for that, and I stumbled across this because, you know, eBay knows what I look for, and they're like, hey, did you know this existed? So Tsum Tsums used to have subscription boxes, and you would get a large Tsum Tsum and a little Tsum Tsum, or a bunch of little Tsum Tsums. And I got my subscription box late, so I didn't get all of the ones that were in, you know, the previous months. And one of them, of course, was Lady and Tramp, and I never got my hands on it. Well, I found an eBay seller with a really good price, and it's new. It's still in the box. Look at that. It's still in the box. Hey!
Buonasera, signorina.
It's Dr. Mom.
Buonasera.
Buonasera.
Tutti.
Yes, thank you.
Mangia.
Look, it's dog biscuit cookies. So my mother is amazing. You want to put your hand in? There's her hand.
Buonasera.
And I have a recipe for snickerdoodles, and she baked them, but it is my recipe. But they're snickerdoodle dog biscuits to celebrate. Aren't they cute? So, yay! Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
So,
You're so
buonanotte.
cute. Yay! Okay, let's try one. Oh my gosh, they're still warm. This is awesome. Okay. Exactly, Michelle. And it's puppies. You have to have puppies, treats, you know. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. Okay. Can I hold one of these up without burning myself? You see? I got dog biscuit cookie cutters, and I had this idea, and Mom was like, give me your recipe and we'll do it. I was like, really? And she goes, yes. So, okay. I will snack on those later. But I wanted to show you all. I had a whole plan to like bake them and do a whole video on how I made them and maybe even let you guys in on my secret snickerdoodle recipe. But that didn't happen. So, yeah. Hey, Shannon! Shannon from Another Yarn. Shannon's in the house. Woo! Not me, her. Do I like your bucket? Oh, you emailed me. Yes, I am so sorry. I had a phone. There it is. Okay. Yes, you emailed me. Oh, I didn't get it. Did you email thespooniestitcher@gmail.com? Shannon, I'm telling you, we need to gather all the Shannons in the fiber world that we can and do a live. I think it would be hilarious. I still want to do a Shannon live. I think that would be funny. Okay, so before my mom came down, what was I talking about? Oh, well, I showed you guys the Tsum Tsum, but okay, this was on the Disney website, and I had my Instagram family vote if I should get it or not, because nobody needs anything that is 35 inches. But y'all said yes, so I bought it. It's the Cuddlies lady. She's huge. Look how cute. She's enormous. You should have seen the box that came. So I ordered her with the new emo that I'm using for my craft on Thursday. So it's like, and so the box was huge, and I couldn't remember that I got her at first. And I was like, oh my gosh, why is the box so huge? Because I could remember the new emo. And then, yeah. But she came all squished and like packed like this and stuff. And I was like, poor thing. So she had to be fluffed. But yeah, she's enormous. I know they make other ones too. I know they make Eeyore and Lewis from Princess and the Frog. I've seen Pua, the pig from Moana, and I've seen Stitch, I think. Yeah. So I think we did it. Oh my gosh. Is that my entire Lady and the Tramp collection? I think it is. I think that's everything. Wow. This is amazing. I love Lady and the Tramp. I think it's a fun movie. I think the characters are awesome. I think the merch is super cute. Yeah. I still cannot believe I don't have a single drinking receptacle of any kind, even to like pour the drink from into the cup. I have no pitcher, no teapot, no cup, no mug, no tumbler, no plastic cup, nothing with Lady and the Tramp. How? But I don't. So tonight we are Jane Austen. I would rather have nothing but tea. Kind of true. My daughter won a 4-foot foghorn leghorn when she was 3. She loved it until bedtime, and then she was terrified of it. He lived in the family room for a year. That's fantastic. Yes, I do. It's just the Spoonie Stitcher. All one word. That's my Instagram. Yes, Jane always makes my heart happy too. Actually, Teresa at Critters Crochet and I did a collaboration on Jane Austen films in February of this year. Right? Yes, February of this year. And that's on my Film to Fiber playlist. If you want to ever watch that. We made some really cool projects for that. So our next one is in September. We're not telling you the theme, but we are going to give you a tiny hint because the season is fall. So it's a fall movie. There you go. So I'm very excited to announce that in July and August, Teresa and I are banding together and we are going to host a beginner boot camp. For those of you who want to learn to crochet or crochet always frustrated you, and so maybe you want to try again, or those of you who've never touched a crochet hook in your life and you have no idea where to start, or you're just plain curious and you just want to see what it's all about, this is for everyone. This is not just for beginners, but we're going to teach you the basics. We're calling it Back to Basics, because there's 2 teachers, myself and Teresa. And we're just going to start at the very beginning. What do you need? We're going to start right there. What do you need? What do you truly need to start crocheting, all the way to making a magic ring? So we're going to teach you that for 7 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. And it'll be every Thursday in July and August, but not the beginning of July. We don't start until I think July 17th, I believe. But I'll mention this more in July. But yeah, so it'll be every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So no matter what time my other videos end up being or when they end up being, because schedules are crazy, those will be the same time and the same day all the time. My 17-year-old stepdaughter has a 4-foot horse stuffy. It's basically the size of a small person. Wow. I love that you two are doing this and actually starting at the beginning. This is one of the things I see. A lot of people have come to my tutorials and have said in my comments and stuff and emailed me about how their teachers just started. Like, we're just going to start with the slip knot. We're going to start with the chain. But what do you need? What do you actually need to get started? You know, a lot of people say, oh, you need all this stuff. Do you? And then other people say, all you need is yarn and a hook. Okay, you need a little bit more than that. And what yarn? What hook? How do you know? See, this is where we are starting. We are starting at the bare bones. And then you don't just start crocheting. How do you hold your yarn? How do you hold your hook? Parts of a hook. Super important. Why do we not teach parts of a hook anymore? All of these beginner tutorials that I've seen, nobody teaches parts of a hook. Have you noticed this? Why? People say head, shaft, throat, handle. These are foreign words to people who have never done this before. I see beginner tutorials all the time, and I'm like, but they need to know these things. They need to know how you start. How did I learn? I learned crochet. So I was homeschooled, and we lived in Pennsylvania, and I was 10. And my mother would teach Bible studies at a little church that was just down the road from us, and I was homeschooled. So I would take my work with me, or, you know, I was also an artist, so I would also take like a sketch pad and crayons and stuff everywhere. And I saw this lady who was listening to my mom, but she was in the very back, and she was messing around with yarn and a stick. Okay, my aunts crochet. No, they don't. My aunts knit. And I knew what crochet was. They told me about crochet. I knew what crochet was. They do have crochet hooks because they have to like fix things in knitting. Sometimes you use a crochet hook to like fix things. And I knew all about that, but I had no idea how it was done. So I'd never seen like crochet in the wild. So I went over to her and I was curious, and I asked her what she was doing. And she said, I'm crocheting. I said, oh, my aunts knit. And she goes, oh, that's great. Would you like to learn? She has no idea who I am. I have no idea who she is. And I was like, okay. So I sat right back down next to her. She gave me a hook. She gave me a skein of yarn. It was a light blue skein of yarn. And a size J 6mm green Susan Bates hook. I still have it. And we got started. She taught me how to hold yarn, how to hold a hook. She taught me parts of a hook because she's like, you're going to need this. And we just sat in the back. I crocheted with her for a few hours. And we were in the way back. So church rooms are like, auditoriums are huge. So I was way in the back. It's not like we were interrupting my mom's class or anything. And so she taught me to crochet right there. Now, kids in the audience, this was before YouTube. This was before looking up videos. This was before we even had, you know, did we have cell phones yet? I don't know. If we did, I think my dad was the only one who had one. So yeah, back in the olden days, I had to go to the tiny little convenience store that we had on, was it Post or Base? Post, Army Post. I was a military brat, if you didn't know. And go to the tiny little store and get the only book on crochet that there was. There was one. And I learned from a book. I was taught by her. And once in a while, she would come back to the church and I could ask questions. But then she just kind of disappeared. I don't know what happened to her. So I guess she moved. I mean, when you stay on a post, you don't stay that long. So people constantly cycle in and out. So it wasn't weird when anybody wasn't there anymore. So I learned the rest of it from a book. And then several books. And I taught myself, basically. I mean, she taught me the basics. And then I went to town and I learned all I could from books. I would go to the library when we could. The library was kind of far. But I bought my one little book. I don't know if I still have that book, maybe in storage somewhere. And I got my, the like 5 options of yarn there were. They were Red Heart, and they did not feel good, but I learned. So, yeah, I learned in the back of a church. Yeah, I agree. Right. Yeah, exactly. When I started, there were Boy and Bates. That's it. That you had Boy and Bates crochet hooks. They were little sticks, metal sticks. They had the name on it. They had the brand name. They had the size. That was it. You had 2 options. And when you're a kid and you're crocheting, you know, you don't have to deal with a whole bunch of like muscle pain and nerve pain going on in your hand too much. But as you get older, it hurts. So when I was about, holy cow, how old was I? 15, 16. I don't know. I stopped because the pain was so bad. I started to really get pain in my hands. I mean, when you crochet for hours and hours and hours, it hurts. And, you know, I would take breaks. I would do stretches. I would do all the little tricks and stuff. But I actually learned that the reason that it hurts is because, here, even if you're not interested in crochet, you might think this is cool. Because it actually has to do with anything that you're holding. So, take your hand and hold your wrist up like this. It's very floppy. It's not doing anything. And flop your hand over, and it'll automatically turn into some kind of closure. So just flop your hand, and there's a little opening right there. This opening is what determines how you should hold knives, brushes for your hair, tools for working outside, and crochet hooks. Anything you are gripping, this is the ideal space that your hand should take up. So when you are holding a tiny, tiny, tiny little metal stick, you are having to tighten this, and you are now straining nerves and muscles that are in your hand. But if you use an ergonomic hook, like this, it fits nicely in that hole. And you're doing a lot less pressure on your hand. You're still keeping a nice open space, and you're not damaging your hand. Now, you still have to stretch, you still have to exercise it, you still have to massage it and stuff like that. You don't want to crochet for too long without taking breaks, because, I mean, that can be damaging for several reasons. That can be bad for your posture. You shouldn't be sitting that long. That can be bad for, you know, your arms being in one position for the longest time. There are lots of things that can happen. But at least for your hand health, ergonomic is the way to go. So one of the things I do recommend is starting right out with an ergonomic hook. Don't even go with the stick unless the stick has a grip on it. Don't even go with the stick, because you might give up because it's painful. That's why a lot of people actually gave up on crochet. A lot of people stop crocheting because it hurts, and they don't know why. They just know their hands hurt. And now you know why. That was kind of a long explanation, but you understand. So yes, Teresa and I are going back to basics. And then we are doing another series beyond the basics. So once we get you started, then we're going to continue it. I don't know when exactly, sometime this fall. And we will continue it with, now that you know basics, now what do you do? How do you determine gauge? How do you deal with reading a yarn label? How do you turn this stitch and get this stitch? You know, how do you mix stitches? How do you decide what project you want to do? Where do you find patterns? all of these things that people constantly have questions for and hardly anyone ever answers. Like, I want to do an entire video on resources. You know me, I'm the research queen. I want to do an entire video on resources for free patterns. What do you think about that? I think that sounds cool. Nothing seems simplistic anymore. Yeah, I agree. I think that a lot of these teachers, which bless their hearts, honestly, and it is not the it is not the mean bless your heart. Bless your heart actually means several different things. It all depends on inflection. If you didn't know, because you don't live in the South. But honestly, these poor things, I understand the pressure of wanting to get a tutorial out, doing a tutorial this way, not wanting to repeat themselves too much so people don't fast forward their videos. Like, I already know all this. I don't need to watch this part, which then hurts their algorithm. I get that. But at the same time, you kind of need to, because you don't know who's watching. So sometimes I send people to my beginner videos, which I've already made an entire beginner series, which no one watched. So we're trying again. But for my regular tutorials, people like that I start at the basics. Like, hey, you've never crocheted before. This tutorial is for beginners. Let's start at the beginning. Let's show you how to hold your hook. I'm going to talk about parts of a hook that you need to know in this video. Here are the parts of a hook. Here's a way you can hold your yarn, stuff like that. So I do try to keep beginners in mind, no matter what tutorial I'm making. So yeah, I try. I try to go slow. I try to show you everything I'm doing, because one thing that frustrates me about tutorials that I watch from other creators, and again, I just think they don't think about it because they don't think about their entire audience sometimes. But when they tell you to do something and then they don't show you, they just say, I'll be back. And it's like, I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, you do this, I'll be back. But you never showed me how to do it. You just said, now you just do this. But I didn't see you do it. For the visual learners out there, that's frustrating as all get out. And I'm auditory visual. I need to hear it and I need to see it. So, that's the other thing. The reason Teresa and I thought about this is because she is doing her series on learning styles. It's absolutely fascinating if you haven't watched it. So Teresa at Critish Crochet, I talk about her a lot. She's my crazy crochet cohort. We do stuff together all the time. I love her. I have no idea if she's here tonight, but if she is, I love you, girl. We do stuff together all the time. And she was talking about wanting to talk about different learning styles. And I said, yeah, you should go for this. And her other friend was telling her to do this too, because it's really interesting, because she was a teacher. She was an elementary teacher. And yeah, everybody learns differently. And so when we thought about doing this together, she thought about, we thought about her series, but we thought about doing this together. It's like, okay, my teaching style is different from her teaching style. If we teach the exact same thing, maybe one of our tutorials will make sense to somebody that crochet has never made sense to before. And wouldn't that be epic? Because I want more people to learn to crochet. I don't want it to be a fad. I want people to learn how to crochet. I am so with Sarah Satch on this. She thinks everybody should learn how to crochet. So do I. If nothing else, everybody should know how to make a chain. Sometimes they have actually proven that people with autism and Asperger's would do really well if they could sit there and make chains. It helps their brain focus, and they're doing one task, and that's all they have to think about and stuff. And it's just like, it's nice little like brain breather. So with that kind of research, then yeah, I think everybody should learn how to crochet. Okay, Stacy, no problem. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you like Thursday's video. I don't know. I still have to finish it. It's very pink. So yeah, I think this will be really good. I think it'll be really fun. I think people will have a good time, and I think that it'll be really interesting. So I'm excited for it. Teresa and I are excited for this endeavor. So I hope you guys are too. And even if you are not a beginner, you might want to watch anyway. You might learn a trick, or, oh, I never thought about it that way, or, huh, well, that's different. You never know. Personally, I love watching beginner tutorials because every teacher is different, and that's part of the fun. Okay, Michelle, no problem. I know it's a Monday night and stuff. I try to go 2 hours because that's what YouTube wants me to do. So every time I have a live, I try to make it go 2 hours. I should have brought my Premier yarn. I got a big order from Premier Yarns. I should have brought that over that I could like unbox with y'all. Yes, happy 70th to Lady and the Tramp. 100%. Yes, yes, yes. I love this movie. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. The art style. They still painted the cells back then. Oh. Do you know the first movie where they actually started using the like big X-ray type machine instead of painting the cells? Do you know? I've actually showed it here tonight. Kinda. It's a dog movie. I'll give you a couple minutes. And the reason they did this is because nobody wants to paint the same thing so many times if they could help it. And it was a really big deal for this particular movie because they would be seeing spots. 101 Dalmatians. That was the first movie where they used the big, basically a giant copy machine. So that they didn't have to paint every single spot a billion times. Smart. Let's see. I was trying to think if there was any other like fun Lady and the Tramp trivia or something. Kind of talked about that in the beginning. Oh, well, I guess I could talk about why Lady's my favorite. Haven't really done that. So yeah, Lady has been my favorite Disney character of all time since I was 3. I mean, if I'm nothing if not loyal. I'm very loyal to my characters, my favorite characters. Yes, so I don't think anyone could ever take her place. Honestly, I love Lady. I think I'm trying to think about why she was my favorite when I was 3, but I think she's my favorite character because she's different. She's a little feisty. She's sweet. She's a little naive. She's super protective. I love that. I love her protective instincts. I love that she doesn't just fall for Tramp either. Like, he has to win her. And when she finds out about his past, he has to prove himself with that rat. So, But But I totally give it to Lady that she tried to go after the rat at first, but she was chained up, so she couldn't reach it. And all she could think about was the baby. And so even though she was not super happy with this guy, she was like, you know, forget how I feel. There's a baby in danger and I can't do it. So Tramp, I need your help, so good for her. Nope. Putting her pride aside for, the welfare of a young infant. I love that. I love that she's pretty. I mean, she's pretty. That is a huge factor, obviously. Her voice is perfect. She's the same voice as Merryweather in Sleeping Beauty. So same voice, different feeling. So again, everything is, revolves around inflection. You have a collection of Lady and the Tramp? Awesome. Do you have a YouTube channel? Oh my gosh, I feel so silly. I forgot to tell y'all. Okay, if you want to drop your channel, type in Jock, Jock. I was going to do Lady, but I figured people would be typing Lady a lot. So if you type in Jock, you can drop your channel, and then people can click on it to follow you. Oh, that's okay, Shannon. We're good. Yeah, so if you have a channel, please type Jock, and then people can click on your link. If Nightbot is doing its job. Sometimes it likes to take a holiday and not tell me. Good luck on your filming, Shannon. So, what was I talking about? Oh, why I like Lady. Spoonie brain. I think another reason I like Lady is she's playful, she's fun. She's just got wonderful personality traits. Like she's happy-go-lucky, but she's also extremely skeptical about some things. She's curious. She's very much a lady. I mean, she only gets feisty or ferocious, I should say. I mean, she only gets ferocious when it's absolutely necessary. I love that. So she's sassy. I mean, I love when Tramp calls her a trick, and she goes after him, and she mentions all of the names that the pound told her about, and Tramp's like, like, oh, you know about that, huh? Yeah. So I thought that was cute. And then I love her friends. I love Jock and Trusty. Oh, they're so cute, right? They're such good friends too. And so nothing happens, okay? If you know how a dog works when it comes to having puppies, nothing actually happened because it wouldn't have happened at that time. If you watch the seasons throughout the movie, you know what time the movie is taking place, and we know we end on Christmas. Let's just say those were not new puppies. So, yeah. But I love that Jock and Trusty think about proposing to Lady when they think she's in trouble. And, I mean, all they know is that she and Tramp stayed out all night. It never says anything, like anything happened. She never says anything happened. He never says anything happened. But people like to infer, and it's like, well, if you knew about dogs, you'd know that that wasn't possible, but okay. But I love how the dogs say anyway, like, okay, he's, he's that side of the track, so something must have happened. That they just infer, which is wrong of them. But you have to give it to them that they were like, we'll help her out. And, Trusty's like, I never even thought of matrimony, and Jock's like, we have to do the right thing and stuff. It's cute. It's so cute. And, I don't know about Lady and Jock, but Lady and Trusty maybe. Although he's much older, but I like her with Tramp. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, the movie itself is great. Lady has some really great qualities. Tramp has some really great qualities. I mean, he changes who he is. Not like a, changing for a person kind of thing, but realizing that he's not so great a guy. Like, oh, yeah, I guess I probably shouldn't have done that in my past. Or, Lady helps me see that not all humans are so bad. And he was wrong about babies. And, so she helps him see the world in one way. He helps her see the world in one way. And both of them end up making each other better dogs. I was going to say people. No, dogs. So, yeah. So Lady and Tramp are two extremely wonderful characters. But I like Lady a little bit more. And then I've heard the comments about how Lady and the Tramp 2 is just the same story but reversed. No, actually it's not. It's actually very different because there's very different circumstances going on. I mean, first of all, Lady's life and Scamp's life, like what he had to go through and what she had to go through, are very different. So, Scamp was constantly trying to escape, and so he got yelled at more, and he wanted to get dirty, and he wanted to do a bunch of rambunctious things, and so he got punished more. So, yeah, he sees his life as not so great. However, that's not the case. That's just the choices he's chose to make, whereas Lady chose not to break the rules so much. So she never got disciplined. In fact, we even know that because in the first film, when Darling pushes her away because she's pulling on the yarn, Lady even says, she's never struck me before. And Jim has never called me that before. So just the choices you make in life. Dogs. So, yeah. But I think it's two very different stories. I mean, yeah, you could say that its opposite sides are, for like, they switched. The boy now comes from the privileged home and the girl now comes from the streets. Okay. But it's not the same story. Also, we don't know what happened to Tramp, but we do know what happened to Angel. And she had humans. Several times she lived with families. They always got rid of her. And as far as we know, it's not anything she did. So she just had bad homes. So yeah, she doesn't see her life as so great. But it makes Scamp see his life as, oh, better. So, yeah. Again, another long exclamation. Okay, coming up this week on the channel, if you didn't see my little commercial, Wednesday, Premiere is having their big sale of the summer. Lots and lots and lots of brands will be on sale. I am now a Premiere affiliate. Woo! It finally went through. It only took them a year to fix it. Yay. Anyway, I am now officially a Premiere affiliate. My link now works. Thank you to those of you who let me know the link wasn't working so I could tell them. And it works now. So if you want to shop the sale on Wednesday, maybe give my link a click. That would be nice. Thank you. We do have super chats open. If you want to drop a super chat tonight, you don't have to, but we do have it open. And Thursday, I am doing another Melick Adventures collaboration with Danielle and Ben Melick. They do this twice a month, and this is the last one for the month, and this will be... Thank you, Heather. Aw, so nice. This will be The Princess and the Frog. So that will be the theme of the video, and I am doing a craft. I'm not doing my normal analyze the Disney movie thing. I'm actually doing a craft. So yeah, a craft you can do too if you want to. So that'll be fun. And then next week, Twice Sheared Sheep will have their summer shop open. So the things I showed you today, not those exact items, but that theme is going to be in their shop. I will say lots of frogs. If you like frogs, it's a very froggy theme this year. They're cute though. They're cute frogs. So that'll be Monday. Monday will probably be a video about all the different sales that are going on. I will show you inside the Twice Sheared Sheep shop. That is hard to say, but I did it. And maybe telling you what's coming up in July, because the first week, well, not the first week of July, but I'm not having as many videos in July. Wow, why can't I just say that? I'm not having as many videos in July. So, and I'll explain why, and hopefully Wednesday will give me some answers. I'm going back to the doctor again. I've been dealing with this since January. We don't know what's up. So if you pray, please pray that they give me good news, or at least helpful news, and that everything goes smoothly. And oops. Sorry, Teresa. Teresa and I will be live on her channel Thursday night, this Thursday night, the 26th. 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. We're just crochet and chatting. Really chill. We're going to talk about the companies we work for, obviously. Talk about what's coming up on our channels. She'll talk about Battle of the Stitches. I'll talk about, other things. I don't know at this point. But yeah, just really chill. Just a chill hangout. If you want to grab a project and hang out with us Thursday on her channel, that'd be great. And I think that is it. Thank you so much to everyone who joined me for celebrating Lady and the Tramp. I really appreciate it. This was super fun. Thank you for enjoying my collection with me. And I loved hearing all of your thoughts. And if you are watching the replay, leave me your favorite Lady and the Tramp moment in the comments down below. I would love to hear it. So, one last thing before we go. Remember, OPhire is still having their 20% off sale. So if you want to grab a hook, this is a great time to do it. Also, their stands. They have every color in stock for both the wood and the glitter stands at this moment. That hardly ever happens. So if you want to stand, it holds 20 hooks. It's a big deal. It holds 20 hooks. So if you want to stand, I would get it relatively fast. VALARI. I'm actually using their back pillow right now. VALARI, the pillow that goes all the way around you. This is also this one. Now is called CraftEase. And they are having a 25% off sale with the launch of their new website. All of these links are in my description box. All of them. Twice Sheared Sheep is going to have their sale. Well, not a sale, but their shop. The summer shop is going to open on Monday, the 30th. And Premier Yarns is going to have their sale this week. So all of these links are in my description box. They're in every description box from now on. I'm going to go back and try to fix all of the Premier links. Do you have any idea how many videos I've made? Anyway, so that no matter what video people are watching, they can use that link. But Anyway, is anything else going on? Let me think. No, I don't think so. I think that's it. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope you have fun watching the channel. There are lots of videos to choose from. Don't forget I have playlists. Check out the playlists. And I will see you Thursday on Teresa's channel. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Remember, life happens, yarn helps, and spoonies can stitch it up too. Bye.